So, shall I begin with this story called Bill and Ben, Where's Whimsy? It was a beautiful morning in the garden, and Whimsy the spider was spinning a particularly lovely web. She was hoping to catch something for her breakfast. Bill and Ben were playing hide and seek. Ben had found a very good place to hide, because Bill had been looking for him for ages. Hee hee, giggled Ben in his hiding place. But then, flub-a-dub, Bill had found him. Ben fell over backwards in surprise, and Bill laughed and laughed. Flubber hee hee hee! Now it was Bill's turn to hide. Flubba-dum, flubba-doo, flubba-dee, Ben counted. But then he sneakily opened one eye and peeked. Flubba-dogalob, said Bill sternly. No peeping. Ben started counting again, while Bill hid. Flubba-diddy, called Ben, and he zipped off to search the garden. He saw where Bill was hiding almost at once, and decided to give him a surprise. Flubba-doo, he shouted. Wah, Bill yelled. Ben certainly scared Bill, but not as much as he scared Whimsy, who scuttled straight out of her web and up inside the drainpipe. She was convinced the sky had fallen in, or the garden had exploded. Now it was Bill's turn to look. Flob, flow, flee, he counted, while Ben scampered off to hide. Weed called out to Ben as Ben went past. What are you up to, Ben? Shh, said Ben. He told Weed he was playing hide and seek, and he didn't want Bill to know where he was. Ben hid behind the concrete gnome. Shh, he said, just in case Gnome gave him away. Meanwhile, Bill had started looking. First, he scooted into Slowcoach's house, and out again. The tortoise came out blinking. He'd forgotten his glasses. Hello! Flubba-doo, yelled Bill. Slowcoach shot up inside and disappeared into his shell. Hee hee hee, Bill chuckled. You two, I might have guessed, said Slowcoach, as Ben arrived to join in the fun. Then, rumble, rumble. What was that awful noise? It sounded like thunder. Flubba-dunder, said Bill. Ben dived into his flower pot. I don't think it was thunder, Weed giggled. It was something else, wasn't it, Slowcoach? Slowcoach looked embarrassed. Yes, it was my tummy, he admitted. I think it's trying to tell me I need my breakfast. Weed and the flower pot men found that very funny. Ben laughed so hard that he fell right out of his flower pot. Disgusted, Slowcoach went off to find something to eat. Rumble, rumble, went Slowcoach's tummy. I'd better find some breakfast, he said, before my tummy rumbles itself to bits. Up in the drainpipe, Whimsy shivered and shook. Ooh, ooh, oh dear, what was that horrible noise, she wondered. Rumble, rumble. Whimsy ran panic-stricken round and round the pipe. Whiz, whiz, whiz. By the time Slowcoach got home, it wasn't breakfast time anymore. Flubba-dub, slobba-dub, called Bill and Ben cheerily. Slowcoach gave them a frosty look. Yes, well, if you pardon me, I'll just get on with my breakfast. Weed looked up and giggled. Breakfast? Oh, Slowcoach, that was hours ago, she said. It's nearer tea time now. Suddenly, Whoops popped up from the compost bin. Did you say tea time? I don't suppose you've seen Whimsy at all. I invited her for tea, but she hasn't turned up. Whoops looked around. You don't think anything could have happened to her? I shall just have to go and look for her, said Whoops. She might need my help. It might take quite a while, though. I'm not that fast. Perhaps Bill and Ben could look for you, said Weed kindly. Flubba-dub, said Bill. Flubba-dub, said Ben. They thought that was a good idea. Would you, said Whoops. I'd be so grateful. Bill and Ben sped away to begin the search. Ben stopped beside Slowcoach, who was having a snooze inside his shell. Flubba-dimsy, shouted Ben. Wah, went Slowcoach. Slobby, said Ben, who hadn't meant to startle him. Flubba-look-a-whimsy. I should think you are sorry, grumbled Slowcoach. You're looking for Whimsy. Well, she's not likely to be in my shell, is she? Be off with you. Bill and Ben zoomed away. Flubba-dim-dee, called Ben, while Bill stopped to check the bucket. Flubba-dim-dee, called Ben. but Ben wasn't looking where he was going. Whoosh! He crashed straight into Bill, and they both went tumbling. Then they spotted Whimsy's web. "Flobber-dur," said Bill, who thought it was a spider. "Nobbadider," said Ben. "Fleb." Ben knew it was just a spider's web, but where there was a web, there might have been a spider. Ben plucked one of the strands. Twang! "Flobber-dimdy," called Bill and Ben. "That sounds like Bill and Ben," said Whimsy inside the drain pipe. "Help!" And Bill and Ben, who were just leaving, stopped in their tracks. "Help!" "I'm in here," called Whimsy, "and I don't know how to get out." Bill and Ben looked up the drain pipe. "Ooh, flobber-dob," said Bill. Then he had an idea. Bill hopped in the peg bag, pulled on the rope, hup, 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 jumped into the basket and pulled himself along the roof. He threw one end of the rope down for Ben to hold and tied the other end round his waist. Then, flob, he jumped into the drain pipe. "Ooh, thank you," said Whimsy, as Bill gently caught hold of her. "Flobber-dimdy," called Bill and Ben. "Flubber-ray," cried Ben, and he let go of the rope to clap his hands. "Oops!" Gulp went Bill and Whimsy as the rope went slack. Then, woo and wah, as they both hurtled down, down, down inside the drain pipe, right into Ben. After all that, Bill and Ben were so tired, they tumbled back into their flower pots. "Well, I think we should give Bill and Ben 3 rousing cheers for saving Whimsy," said Whoops. But Weed whispered, "Shh, they're asleep." So they cheered very quietly instead. Hip, hip, hooray! The end. And that story was Bill and Ben, Where's Whimsy?